Morning, guys. It's about 5:30. Today is the day. It's time to paint this damn frame and axles. I'm so tired of busting rust. I don't know how I'm going to film this, but let me show you what I have so far. So I basically made a paint booth. If you go back to my last episode, you'll see that this paint booth is made with just some tarps that were on clearance at Walmart and just some hooks that I had laying around. I got the Dragon's Breath heating up the paint booth. We're gonna have the garage door open just a little bit here for ventilation. I'm gonna have to get a light in here. I'm thinking I could probably mount a light up here. But yeah, this should be entertaining to say the least to get all this stuff painted up. I gotta start mixing some paint and get this area prepped with some lights, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, the primer portion is pretty much done. I hit up all the spots that I thought were really bad and rusty, areas that were prone to rust. So I basically went through and shot primer on the majority of the frame and the axles. There's a couple spots I didn't hit because when I wire wheeled them there was still paint or primer on it. I didn't hit those spots, but for the most part we're gonna just let this cook for a few hours until everything's dry to the touch and dry to like the smear test where you put your finger against it, push a little bit, and as long as there's nothing sticking to my finger or smearing off of the frame, I'm gonna go ahead and put the top coat on it. And other related news, I took a trip to Tractor Supply and picked up a bunch of grease zerks. A couple of them are for the track tensioners, and then the rest of them will be for the wheels. And you see here I got a crap ton of grade 8 hardware to mount everything, basically everything we need to the frame. And the bag ripped open at the cash register. However, like everything we need is in there to get the axles mounted back up and move forward with the project. Grand total for all of that, cheapest place I found to get grade 8 hardware is Tractor Supply, of all places. Looks like they raised their price recently for grade 8 to $5.59. Used to be $4.79, but it's still cheaper than anywhere else I could find. So it's like I got 15 pounds of that stuff for 84 bucks. That's a pretty good deal. That'll give us all the hardware we need to mount the axles, and also about all the hardware to put the lid back on the OC12. I tapped all those holes, and this is another project that's going to be coming up here shortly. We got some unboxing to do here. From stuff's coming from Alaska from my friend Don, who went on a rescue mission to get some parts for me to an abandoned snowcat that's sitting up there in Alaska. So fingers crossed that gets here safe and sound and we can move forward on that. But I'm gonna let the primer flash off for a few more hours, and then we'll get into putting the top coat on this.
I gave her a pain, a heart, and a piccolo and a cane. Highfalutin pants shooting, piccolo Houston highbrow. Highfalutin pants shooting, piccolo Houston highbrow. Played a little old down, and her made a little old down, and her head went round and round. Oh, she thought I was okay, but he stepped off that train with a high hat, a piccolo and a cane.
Well, I got her done. I'm sure there's spots that I missed, but I'll go back with a brush and hit them up. Like I can see one right here. Like some of the hard spots to get inside there and whatnot, but I went around it a couple times and went over some of the spots that I know I missed, but at least it's got a coat of primer and 2 coats of paint on it now, so I'm sure I'll be able to go over it if I need to at some point with a brush, but it's hard to tell with black paint, even with the light on it. Gives you an illusion sometimes, but painting is time consuming, but the prep work was the worst, so can't complain about that. We're gonna let this dry until Monday morning, and then we're gonna start assembly. So you guys probably won't see or hear from me until then, but if you like this episode, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. This is the most work I've ever done on any vehicle build. Funny thing is, it's all solo. You see these other YouTube channels that have like 10 different guys working on a vehicle. They get it done in a week. I'm doing it all by myself, so with no sponsorship except for Oxbeam, who occasionally send me some lights, but alright guys, that's gonna be it. Take care. I'll catch you later. See you next time. Bye bye.